Bear with me just a second. Technology up and on. Well, awesome. Those of you who weren't here last week, I was asked to come back, so I guess it went okay. Or it's just like, I guess. But we went over what it means to follow. Those of you who weren't here, what it means to follow Jesus compared to what religion kind of is all about, tells you about. So today we're going to kind of follow along in that same series. But I want to kind of just share a story, just a little bit about me. So I played, I did graduate from Owasso in 2011. I played football and baseball there. And our football team, we tried really hard. We were okay. We always made it to the playoffs, but it didn't really end well for us. But baseball, we were really good. Baseball, we would go to Florida every year for a tournament. Usually we'd win that tournament against all these national teams, and we got rings and watches, and we were really good. My senior year, we were actually 39-1 going into the state championship game. So we were really good. But and the town kind of knew that, and we get police escorts to a bunch of games, and we're kind of kings a little bit in the school. So it was nice. But what a lot of people didn't see was everything that kind of went on behind the scenes for baseball. Baseball was really hard to play for the coach that we had. Coach Turner is awesome, and but he's very, very strict. He gets everything from the New York Yankees, like he's the biggest Yankees fan I've ever been around. So if you know anything about the Yankees, they're not allowed to have facial hair, ever. They have to shave before, at practice, you have to have no facial hair, games, nothing. Like, you have to shave before every practice. Like, if there's stubble, you're running. Like, and I don't grow, like, in high school, this has taken me a long time to grow. In high school, I didn't grow like anything but just like, peach fuzz. You still had to shave it. It just had to be gone. So it's very, very strict, and you just run for anything. If you say anything back to the coach, even if you were right, and you just wanted to explain to him that you were right and you didn't mess up, if you said something back like I normally would do, you would run for it. So it was a constant. We went through like these weeks of the year that you wanted to quit baseball. And it was before the season, it was before all the trophies and all of the ESPN coming to games and all of the newspaper. It was before all of that. It was just these couple weeks before the season, and everybody on the team wanted to quit because it was just really tough. But in May, when everything was over and we're playing in the state championship game, and we would win that state championship game, it made it worth it. And today, we're going to last week we talked about following Jesus, but we need to know what the end goal is. What does Jesus say is the payoff for following him? And surprisingly, in the Bible, Jesus doesn't say, follow me and I'm going to make you a better husband, or follow me and I'm going to make you a better person or employee. Now, he does those things when we're living for him. We are going to become a better husband. We are going to be a better worker at work. We are going to be a better person because we're following Jesus. But he doesn't say, hey, Matthew, hey, Mark, hey, guys, follow me, and you're going to become a better person. That's not the end goal. And surprisingly, when I was studying this, the end goal, he never really does promise that the end goal is heaven. He does talk about the kingdom of heaven and his kingdom that he's setting up for us as followers of Christ. But he doesn't say, hey, follow me because you're going to be in heaven. That's not the end goal. And so while studying this, I wanted to go to a passage that maybe if you're like me, you really just haven't maybe took some time and really studied. But Jesus talks with his disciples about kind of where he wants to get us. And it's in Matthew chapter 10, if you guys want to go there. It's Matthew chapter 10, and we're going to start off with verse 16. And kind of just a little bit of a background of what's going on. Jesus is just now picking his 12 followers. Now, back in the time, there's like three or four different groups of people that were following Jesus at this time. They were the Pharisees, which we talked about last week. There's also a group of people that just followed him. It was like Lazarus and Martha, just kind of his closer friends. They just followed him. They wanted to be with him. There was also the people in the city. So if he went to a different city, people would say, "Oh, Jesus is coming," and they would just follow him. And then once he left the city, they would stop following and go back to their jobs. But then there was also a group that Jesus kind of handpicked. And if you've grown up in church, or if you've kind of been around church for any period of time, those were the disciples or the apostles. And for me, if I were to do this, let's say I was going to start a church or start pastoring a church somewhere, and I just looked out at the congregation and just picked 12 people and said, "Quit your jobs, you're going to follow me the whole time," it would be weird. But back in the time, that was normal. And so Jesus just picked his 12 closest disciples. He just picked his apostles. And he goes in the beginning of verse 16, he goes through and kind of tells them, chapter 10. In the beginning of chapter 10, he goes through and he starts to tell them what he wants them to do. He says, "Hey,